announcement to make. Listen to me. One that you've been waiting for a long time.
Andile, get Lalawena. Andile, or the Param. Andile, Arangadim, or the Para.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing tonight? I'd like to welcome to the stage
King Andile, Mama.
to everybody in the house. Give a warm round of applause for
King Andile, Mama.
And he captures the moment.
King Andile, Mama.
Man, it is extraordinary.
A platform of millions here at the South African Broadcasting Corporation. We make sure that we pride ourselves in bringing in the very best analysts and contributors from all over the world, and we're fortunate enough to have Ben Jacobs. Unfortunately, a Leicester fan.
I nearly hung up after you insulted my team in the introduction there. And hey, next time we speak, my Leicester might even be mathematically promoted.
I'll tell you what, if they do get promoted, I'll call you just for that.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Arsenal will Arsenal. Do I still stand on my standpoint? Yes, I do. Arsenal will Arsenal. Sinong is out in Rustenburg.
Stop saying Arsenal will be Arsenal or whatever you are saying. You have to call me when Arsenal wins the league. But then the position and you have to call me then.
Let's go to Tato.
I've been getting into my car at 6 o'clock every day. I can't recall you saying Arsenal this whole season. Today, I heard it. Today, I heard it. And I'm like, what's going on?
The legendary Goldman Go, Max Maponyane. Max, I wanted to welcome Sizwe Mabena back to the SABC. Click, back.
I remember when I was with Sizwe and the late Gabo Manyapelo. There was a time when we had to initiate him. You know, the good old days when the TV has to close at 12 o'clock. There will be those rainbow colors.
The color bars, yes.
So sending him to the van to ask for color bars.
I thought I heard cannabis. so I go to the van. Upra, Max, but that's really cannabis. So I didn't even ask for color bars. I asked for cannabis.
Max, how you know, man.
Sky is the limit, and you know that you can have what you want, be what you want, have what you want, be what you want.
Sports Night Amplified with Andile on Metro FM. Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Game over.
Exactly 9, about to go 10 after the hour 6 on the Mighty Metro FM. It's Sports Night Amplified with Andile, a special day for the Ministry of Sport, Arts and Culture, but also for the SABC, because that partnership today, it solidifies again, it thrives again. We've got special news. The Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, Minister Zizi Godra, is going to be joining us on the line in a couple of minutes. He was here. He just left literally And, you know, the reason we're coming on at 10 past, because I was saying, hey, Minister, come and stay. But he had things to do and he had to go. Minister Zizigotwa with breaking news, with big news, with celebration-worthy news. But not just him. Sitting across from me in the studio, I do have SASCOC President who has joined me as well, Mr. Barry Hendricks. We're also going to be touching on the Champions League. I know a lot of you are waiting to hear the pronunciations of the Champions League. So we're going to go to the Champions League a little bit later on in the show. Omar Kaktugba is out in Germany. He'll be talking to us about the two big games. We'll reflect on the games from yesterday. And then a heartbreaking story. But we're just going to get clarity on it. Because from what it sounds like at the moment, it doesn't sound too good. Under 17 South African national team, the boys, stuck, unable to move to their next destination is what we're hearing. We need just to clarify it a little bit. So SAFA Vice President Linda Zwane will give us an update on the under-17 team that is said to have been stranded at the airport. So we'll speak to the VP on the latest on the Colombia trip where they were supposed to be going to Colombia, the South African under-17 team, and they're stuck and stranded is the news that we're hearing out. But would love to hear clarity on this. And SAFA today are taking their call to say, no, Anjali, we'll talk about this. We're hearing that it's money issues, that the guys weren't able to get flights. You know, parents are a little bit worried. We'll get to all of that. It's 11 after the hour 6. I'm not going to take a break. I'm going to go straight to my guest here today. Let me start in studio. Protocol says otherwise, but you're in studio in front of me, Mr. Barry, President of SASCOC. Barry Hendricks is with me. Barry, thank you so much for talking to us and welcome.
Always a pleasure and good evening to your listeners on Metro FM.
And what a time for you to be here, 100 days before the Paris Olympics, and you're here.
Yes, an exciting day for us. Today, the Olympic flame was lit in ancient Greece,
yeah,
at Olympia, and that flame will now travel around until it lands up for the opening in Paris.
Oh, brilliant. Glad to have you here. We're going to be speaking a little bit about, of course, the sports awards, and we'll get into just a little bit of that today, the Paris Olympics, and how we're looking as Team South Africa. But please allow me to introduce the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Minister Zizigotwa, who joins us on the line. Minister, thank you so much for talking to us and welcome.
Good evening to you, and good evening to the President, President Barry. I think it's not just exciting, but it's one unique moment in the life of this country that we meet 100 days before Olympics. We meet about less than 2 months before we celebrate another South African Sport Award to recognize sports excellence.
Well, Minister, this day is so big that we had to do it everywhere here at the SABC Sport. We love being a part of these awards. We love watching talent that most of it is groomed and seen at the SABC for the first time and seeing them through to when they get their first awards, when they get their big moments. So we've crowned this moment by combining both Radio 2000 and, at the moment, Metro FM. You're hearing a simulcast on both those stations because we figured, Minister, 30 years celebration as well of this country and the democracy that we enjoy. You look at this travel through sport as well. What an auspicious moment. What a time to be here. And what a time for you to be the Minister of Sport.
What a time to be alive, Mae. I mean, there are so many things we can celebrate, but I always remind people about few things that we take for granted. Me and you, about 30 years ago, we were not citizens in this country. By constitution, by law, we were not recognized as citizens. Now, 30 years on, we have something called a country. We have something called a nation, which is celebrated by two important milestones. One is the national flag. We all have one national flag. Two, we have what is called a national anthem. You must see how South Africans, whether off stage, whether here continentally, here home, as well as abroad, you must see how South Africans sing the national anthem with such pride, because they all each have affirmation and affinity to their country called South Africa, which many of them never had a country for the longest time. So these are some but one of the many issues we must celebrate as a people, that we are called citizens, we have rights, equal rights in our own country. We now have something that we call a country, and sports and culture has played an important role to be where we are today.
Minister, there's been a lot that's changed over the last year. You took over, if I'm not mistaken, 23rd of March last year when you took over this ministry. It's a full year that you have been in charge of this ministry. When you look back at that year, the changes that you've made, the conversations that you've had, how do you rate you, the ministry, and the sports fraternity in this country over the last year?
it's difficult to rate yourself until because I'm not building my own legacy. I'm building a legacy for this country and for sport in this country. One of the conversations I had, I'm happy that you are with my President Perry Hendricks. I met with the top 5. And one of the things I raised, many of them are going through very rough, tough times at that time. That was almost 10 months ago. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not happy about the status of sports in the country generally, across all federations. Cricket South Africa, SAFA, met with SASCOC, I met with Netball, and I said, one of the things you must do, all of you right, is to make sure that you stabilize leadership, but also you must address the issues of governance. And many of them, I said, the issues in the boardroom, they do have an impact of what happened on the field. And they were struggling a lot, many of those federations. And I can tell you now, what we saw after that, thanks to all of them, and I rate them with B, that they've done extremely well from Saru, from everybody else, that I give them a B because for what the national teams have done to all of us is because the leadership have understood that you master those 2 issues. If you master those 2 issues, you'll be able to achieve the rest.
Minister, my colleagues at Radio 2000 have joined us as well. But before we cross over to them, very quickly, the awards are upon us. Give us the details. It's one of those, it's the acme, it's the apex of any sports person in this country when it comes to these awards. They look forward to it. They cherish them. They hold those brass medals with such pride when you've given them to them. Talk to me about the awards and the big announcement.
On the 5th of May, which will be on Sunday at Sun City Super Bowl, once more we're celebrating the sport excellence. We have had categories. Our teams have done extremely well. And I must say, from the point of view as a minister, all of them are champions. But of course, sport is sport. We put together an education of men and women of integrity and credibility to make sure that we select the best among the best. So sport was about competition from the men of the from sportswomen with disability. But interestingly, this year, because we are talking now to radio, we've got journalists of the year. Because everywhere I went in the continent and globally, I see journalists from South Africa, some of them under serious conditions.
In the most obscure places of Côte d'Ivoire.
I won't tell you, I won't repeat where. Well, some of them are struggling, but they will say, we are reporting this because it's good for our country. We are recognizing some of those men and women who really did everything to keep South Africa informed about what was happening elsewhere. It's about the awards category. It's a people's choice. And I don't know how, I'm sure you'll announce people are in that category, how the public will participate, but also how the adjudication, the team will decide who must win there. I mean, if you have Suvenati, for example, you have Ebenezer, you have Elizabeth, you can imagine what happens in the decisions that you must make at the end, because both football as well as rugby, they've done an extremely well, but not only 2. There are about 79 sporting codes in this country. All of them, for me, they've done an extremely well, and we're proud of them. On the 5th of May, at Sun City Super Bowl, we're recognizing the best among the best.
Remember, we're going to be traveling to Germany a little bit later on to speak Champions League. We've also got Linda Zwane, SAFA Vice President, Under 17 national team, stuck. We're not sure what's going on, so we'll get to the story. Let's cross over to Radio 2000. The gang at Radio 2000 is also joining us because this is a big announcement at the SABC. We've taken it seriously because we've been hand in hand with the awards for the longest time, and we continue to do so. It's going to be carried out on our other radio stations as well. Tabiso?
Yeah, the champ is here. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the minister. Minister, good evening and thanks for being with us on Radio 2000. It comes on the back of you winning a round against the promoters at the High Court. I saw your statement this morning, and we like to talk boxing on a Wednesday. Just before we go back to the awards, how significant is this for the continuation of boxing in the country?
It's exactly the issue I made, Tabiso, and thanks very much once more for always showing interest in all sporting codes. I said earlier, we must make sure we stabilize governance, we stabilize issues of leadership. And the point I made when I met with the promoters a few times, I said, let's not fight our fights in courts. Let's fight in the boxing ring. Let's see who's the best champion in the boxing ring. And I hope that, and I'm not suggesting I'm the champion, but again, the door is open for me. I'm able to engage because this engagement is not an option when it comes to sport or general in life. I'll continue to engage with both boxers as well as promoters. And I hope this starts already a process that I've already initiated of appointing a new board. What is urgent for me as a Minister of Sport is to make sure that we have a new board that is capable, that has got integrity and credibility, and really lift up and take up boxing to another level.
Yep. So the accounting authority is the matter that was in the courts, and the courts have agreed that the minister made the right decision in appointing Mandla Nhlanganiso as the accounting authority while he restarts the process of appointing a board. Does it mean we can see some representation at the SA Sport Awards when it comes to boxing, Minister? I remember the 1 year Muruti Mthalane won. I know obviously you're not involved in the nominations or not, but our boxers have done very well this year.
You'll be pleased to know that one of the key names that comes out in various categories is a special one. I mean, the special one, truly the name says it all, the special one. And I think it's a recognition, among others, that in spite and despite all the challenges we have in this country, and we had in terms of leadership, the issues about the minister and promoters, you have a special one who went out to play, and before the start of the match, I always remembered what he said to me when I called him. He said, Minister, in and I know what that means. And clearly, what you would have expected is that he was fighting with a partner that he was prepared to break his teeth. And these are the commitments. There are many others I think we'll recognize on that day. The special one, I'm quite proud that Suvenat is part of the people when the categories will be recognized.
Minister, we're going to take a very quick break. When we come back on the other side, we'll continue with the conversation until at least at about past. I know you are in transit, but please spare us the time. We're speaking about something big. We're launching something big, and Mr. Hendricks is still here with us as well. We'll be speaking a little bit of the 100 days too.
ShopRite brings you South Africa's biggest basic food subsidy, so you pay less for the things you need most. Swipe and save on 2 kgs Salati brown sugar for just $39.99. 4 liters Right Brand sunflower oil for only $99.99. 250 grams Ricoffee instant coffee, just $54.99. And 10 kgs Golden Cloud cake flour for $119.99. Valid until 21 April. Save with ShopRite's basic food subsidy.
Hi, my name is Vincent, technician from PG Glass. Damaged roads can cause big problems for windscreens. My last customer ignored a small chip on hers. She drove over a pothole and cracked. She could have saved time and money by not leaving that chip too long. When a chip is smaller than a 2-rand coin, we can usually repair it without taking out the entire windscreen. Plus, most insurance policies will cover the cost of the repair.
Windscreen chipped or cracked? Call PG Glass on 0860 030303 today.
PG Glass Repair, PG Glass Replace.
Exactly, 23 after the hour 6. Barry Hendricks joins us, SASCOC president, of course. We speak about all this. We're speaking about the awards as the ministers announced them to say they're upon us. We've got a lot that we need to celebrate and look forward to, but also it gives something to all those athletes that are trying to qualify in this 100 days to see themselves in France.
Yes, and thanks and good evening to the Minister again. Always good to chat with him. There are 86 athletes that have qualified so far, from athletics to climbing to road cycling, canoe sprint, diving, equestrian, artistic gymnastics, mountain bike, rowing, rugby sevens women, surfing, swimming and wrestling. And there are still opportunities available for a host of others, such as cycling, skateboarding, breakdancing, weightlifting, boxing, archery, golf, gymnastics, to further qualify in the next few months. And we look forward to engaging with them and supporting them in their attempts to become an Olympic athletes and hopefully support them as part of Team South Africa again.
Minister, I know we speak of athletes and awards and things like that, and there's always, this notion that, we give them awards, we give them these shields and these medals and these trophies. How important and why is it that awards are important? Because, one would say that you look at the infrastructure, we're trying to build this, we're trying to do that, we're trying to get back to grassroots. But awards, too, in the midst of all of that, play an important role. What would you think that role, what would you say that role is?
One of the achievements we've made as a country, we have built what is called national teams. In the past, there were all issues about transformation, that certain teams are not representing and reflecting the country. One thing we can pride ourselves in 2024 as we go to these awards, we have national teams. We have a national team called Amapokopoko, celebrated. It's not a Snow White. There are challenges. You go to cricket, and we've gone past the days where people were looking at player of color as just quotas. People who are performing in all our national teams, they perform in merit, and the results are showing. And I think it's a celebration on its own that we must celebrate that 30 years on, we've made transformation, we've made progress, we have national teams, which in themselves, they are an embodiment of what is called a notion of a nation. We can through them associate ourselves, almost all national groups. Notwithstanding the challenges of the lack of transformation, of infrastructure, that has got history in many other areas. If you go to where I was over the Easter weekend in Durbanek, in many of our schools in rural black areas, our schools were not built with a mind of a sporting facility, and Tabiso. Our schools were just built as classrooms, band education. That's why you won't find the best swimmer coming from East London School, for an example, unless it comes from the former model schools. Because our schools, by definition, Tabiso and were not built with a mind of a sporting facility. Hence, when we talk about school sport, we must then build and reinforce this area, which is multi-purpose, swimming and other things, but we are dealing with that past. But as we deal with that past, let's celebrate the progress we have made with regards to sport. For us to be where we are now, to have South African Sport Awards, where we celebrate, almost if you look at the nominations, and Tabiso, you'll see that we have made progress. We have made progress. There are areas where we think a lot needs to be done, but we've made progress in terms of building a truly non-racial sport in South Africa, which was the call of our former president, or former Minister Chwete, and many others who followed him, that we need to build a non-racial sport in South Africa. That we have achieved.
If there's one thing about your tenure, is you've recognized that financially there needs to be an incentive that's given to people under the entertainment banner or the sporting banner. And we've seen this when you've done so with the guys in entertainment who've come back with Grammys, who've come back with all sorts of awards. This particular awards show has given cars to people, has given million rands to people, etc., etc. Are we to expect the same under Zizi Kodwa?
Nothing has changed. Nothing would have changed. We did the same with Andile last year. We're doing the same with all the nominees. The winners of every category will receive an amount. The reason we do so, firstly, the recognition is about inspiring the others, but also to inspire the recipient of the nominee to do more. And I think when we do so, sometimes we don't even, and Tabiso, give an amount to the recipient. We say give it to the foundation, go to the club, so that it can help others to develop. It's called investment, instead of just giving money to an individual. And we've seen that it has helped in many areas. So that will continue as we did in the previous years.
Tabiso is still with us, Radio 2000 simulcast alongside Metro FM. The Minister is here, Tabiso.
Yes, and I think we must also give credit to Minister Fikile Mbalula. All those years ago when he was sports minister and he came with this financial rewards for the athletes, people were saying, no, he's throwing money away, but you can never underestimate the importance of financial rewards. And I'm glad that the minister is continuing with that. But now people have been waiting for some of the nominees that we're going to announce. So we would like to hand over to the president of SASCOC, a man who's got a big year because we'll be watching our team at the Olympics in Paris later this year. Mr. Barry Hendricks, also part of this conversation. Which nominees can you announce for us tonight, Mr. Hendricks, before we move over to Sport at 10 on SABC 1?
Well, what we've done is, because, the Minister, you'll attest to this, there were so many great categories. I think at some point, Minister Zizi didn't want to even read a single one out. Barry, the same. We sat there and we took a look at it, and it just, watch Sport at 10. The entire nominees list is going to be there. Barry, I think we saw in the Sports Star of the Year, for instance, I think that was the one that we said, gee whiz, this is going to be for South Africans who have to vote here, a big one here. Let me remind you, you had the likes of Siya Kolisi in there. You had Percy Dow in there as well. You had Kirsten was in there as well. That's a tough one for South Africans in general.
Yes, there's no doubt. And remember, we are recognizing the cream of the crop from last year and toward the beginning of this year. So all of them are champions in their own right already. And for them to be simply recognized by being nominated, that is already an accomplishment. Now, through the system of adjudication, the panel will select the recipients of the various awards. And I would just thank the Minister and the support from the department for putting together the panel. I look forward to the engagement on the 5th of May.
It's called the People's Choice of the Year. Eben Yitzabeth is in there. Gerda Steen, Sia Kolisi, Percy Dow, Kirsten Neshafa, who right now, as we speak, is in the water doing her thing. So those are the ones. Minister, we've got to let you go. I know you've got somewhere that you need to be in a couple of minutes. But before we let you go, I saw you at the awards 2 weeks ago in your suit with the gold buckle. This is a black tie event. This is also an entertainment event, as much as it is the sports awards. But in a red carpet, man.
And we've got to keep up to its standards. If you organize an event, you've got to make sure that you set up certain standards. And I'm sure you know what I mean. I mean, just to go back to what the President said, to have in the same award of the People's Choice of the Year, to have Elizabeth, to have Elizabeth. I mean, that tells you how competitive our athletes have been. These are the big names. To have in the same category, for example, the Sportsman of the Year, to have Robert Sitao, to have Robert Sivenati and others, that tells you the standard of our performance. There's something that we've done well, not so much, and I think a lot needs to be done, but we must give praise where it's necessary. And I want to congratulate SASCOC. I want to congratulate SASCOC for what it has done, and I'm sure as we go to Paris once more, we'll see and feel those streets with Nkalagata and the Tandisoma Zoe song, because our musicians played an important part to make sure that they use sport to unite us. I'm happy that we will go and we work together with SASCOC. Thanks very much both to you, Tabiso, as well as for this opportunity. And I look forward to South Africans to look forward to the 5th of May at 8 p.m. We'll be live on SABC 1 and all SABC radios, which will give an opportunity. Which will give an opportunity to make sure that they participate in the awards.
Well, thank you very much, Minister. Thank you so much to Radio 2000 as well. They're doing a great job out there.
Thanks, my
Thank you so much. Very promising to have, but we'll wait for the total number of athletes that are going to be representing us in Paris, and then we'll start with that conversation. But like the Minister said, we've had those conversations. Congratulations on all you're doing.
Thank you.
And we'll speak about whether we're seeing the next 10 year or not when we come back from Paris, though.
Thank you so much, and I look forward to the engagement.
Let's take a break. When we come back, it's Champions League as well as the story I've been telling you about. Do we have under-17s stuck?
Let's go. 10 days. That's right.
10. We love ensuring that everyone gets the awards that they deserve.
10 days left to the penultimate Metro FM Music Awards.
Yeah, man, this is a big night.
Hurry and get your tickets now at CompuTicket, and don't miss out on South Africa's biggest music awards in Mpumalanga.
Everyone is just on edge. We want it to begin.
Mpumalanga, Saturday, 27th April. Metro FM.
Get out of here, man. What more do you want?
Black to the Future.
Attention to all music lovers. The highly anticipated Metro FM Music Awards are finally here.
Y'all ready?
Purchase your tickets to gain access to the awards ceremony and the live concert happening on the 27th of April 2024 at Mbombela Stadium, Mpumalanga.
We about to have some fun in here.
You can now secure your tickets from 300 Rand at www.computicket.co.za.
Yeah, man, this is a big night.
With a star-studded lineup of DJs and live performances, don't miss your chance to be part of this unforgettable celebration of talent and music excellence.
Come on, Mbombela, come through. Let's do this.
Hashtag MMA24, Black to the Future. Metro FM, it's where you want to be.
They say nothing ever lasts. But what about the Fast and Furious franchise? Or showing Anaconda 2 for Friday Action Night? Or how Brooke is still forgiving Ridge Forrester like 50 seasons in? And then there's Burger King's Whopper Meal deal, which is still going strong. So get your hands on 2 flame-grilled Whoppers topped with the freshest ingredients, plus 2 portions of crispy golden fries and 2 bottomless drinks for only 130 Rand. Only at Burger King, where good things do last.
Buy your next vehicle at Auto Pedigree and get up to 50,000 Rand cash back. That's right, 50,000 Rand cash back into your pocket when you choose from a wide selection of quality used low-kilometer Toyotas, VWs, Suzukis, Kias, and much more. At Auto Pedigree, you get a great deal and peace of mind to drive away with a reliable vehicle you can be proud of. Visit autopedigree.co.za or an Auto Pedigree dealer near you, because you deserve a great deal.
Sports Night Amplified with Ndile on Metro FM.
Coach Rani Mukwena is convinced that Swallows versus Sundowns, the Mango goal that gets headed back after the long ball, should have been ruled offside. Here's Coach Rani Mukwena.
I studied the laws of the game very, very well. You can ask me about any law. It's one of the most important things to know before you coach. Both goals are offside.
Abdul Ibrahim, Safa head of referees.
Knowing the laws of the game is one thing. Understanding it and how to apply the laws is something different.
Victor Hlungwane, the principal.
When Coach Rulan says both goals were offside, he has a smaller case there because of this new consideration.
So basically what you're saying is Rulane is correct. The rules that he was speaking of should have stood.
Because of this new consideration.
I wonder, Chelishavani, does he know the new consideration?
I will leave that to the instructor.
Victor Hlungwane.
6 to 7 p.m. Sports Night Amplified with Ndile on Metro FM. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
Champions League football last night. Great football indeed. I mean, enjoyed it. Barcelona, jeez. Heartbreaking that, wasn't it, for those that are Barca fans. Didn't quite end well that for them. But nonetheless, enjoyed the match there. I can just give you the just trying to open it up. There you go. Barcelona versus Paris Saint-Germain. 4-1 on aggregate Paris Saint-Germain. It was Mbappe with 2 goals, including a penalty in the 89th minute, cancelling out the single goal by Rafinha to go 3-6-4 to the next round. Borussia Dortmund and Atletico Madrid. 4-2 is how that ended, with Borussia knocking Atletico out 5-4. On aggregate is how that ended. Tonight, though, tonight is the big one. Tonight is the one that we're all going to be watching out for. The world will be watching if it delivers anywhere near what it did last week. Bayern Munich, Arsenal, Manchester City, Real Madrid. Oh, just thinking about it. Just thinking about it. That's the phone that you hear ringing there. We're trying to call SAFA Vice President. He had promised to talk to us about a matter that we're very concerned about. Under 17s, from what we're hearing, they were supposed to go to a tournament. They were supposed to fly out. They came from all over the country to go and gather in Joburg and then fly out to Colombia for a tournament that they were supposed to play there. The tournament has begun this weekend. They're still in South Africa. Linda Zwane is with us now. We finally get a hold of him. Vice President, how are you? Vice President, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, there we go. Are you well?
I'm well, and you, sir?
I'm a little bit concerned, and I'm sure as you are too, and I can't wait to get some clarity from you, man, Mr. Vice President, on the matter of the under-17s.
Yes, sir.
Where are the boys? What's going on? Have they made it to Colombia?
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you very much. The boys are still in camp at the National Training Center at Van Valley. They will be leaving on Friday. I think we must just firstly clarify the issue that they were supposed to leave on Friday last week. But due to the visa issues, then they were delayed, and the visa were then sorted yesterday. So now it is confirmed that they will be leaving on Friday to Colombia.
So, I mean, this is obviously, as you know, the news run about them being stuck in South Africa, not due to visas, but due to finances that weren't raised in time for them to be able to get tickets to fly to Colombia.
No, that is false. The real story is that they were supposed to leave. Everything was booked Friday last week. The only thing was the visas. So the flight, the only available flight from that flight, it was this Friday. So they will be leaving. So everything is sorted, paid. There's no issue of money there.
But also, I mean, it's an administrative blunder, that, is it not, Mr. Zwane, when you look at the fact that you knew the tournament was happening, you know that there's visas that need to be done. The boys have been sitting in Van Valley for a week now because visas were not done in time.
You see, currently, I can't start to blame anyone. I think we'll receive the report from the relevant people, either the team manager and all of those guys. Then we'll take it from there. But in the main, our preoccupation and concerns was that the team must be in Colombia because they were scheduled to go and play there.
But I think then by saying that you're awaiting a report, you agree that this is an issue that should have never even crossed. There is an issue, there is a problem, there is a challenge if they are still here due to visas. I mean, an organization like SAFA that organizes so many tournaments, that is part of so many tournaments, you'd assume that administratively, these are some of the things that you guys do, for a living. You have this as chalk and bread in the morning.
Yes, I think you agree with me, and I agree with you in that space that we have been organizing. It's not for the first time we have a team leaving South Africa. So that is why I'm saying it will be premature for me to say what are the real issues around the issues of visa unless we get the proper report and we take it from there. So I think in my view is that all South Africans want is to see the team going to play in Colombia as expected.
When does the tournament start?
We have to deal with... Sorry?
When does the tournament start?
They are scheduled to play 2 games. The first game, they will play it on the 21st. The second game on the 24th.
Am I mistaken then when I think they were supposed to play a game tomorrow?
No, you are not mistaken. I think out of the arrangement with the Colombians, the games were shifted.
So we've had to make provisions for the South African team. That game has been moved to another day.
Yes.
All right. No, we just needed that clarity, Mr. Zwane. I mean, I can't say it's great that, we sit with such administrative mistakes or challenges. You're an organization that's been doing this for years. You're an organization that, is entrusted with young people, with parents that give them over to you for certain reasons. And I can imagine the panic and the worry of those parents when they're still in South Africa. But I really appreciate you taking our call and facing the questions that we had. It doesn't happen often. So when it does, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Ma. And we want to assure the parents, every South Africans, that the team will be going there. And we apologize for the confusion that might have happened.
As soon as you've got that report, please do let us know.
All right.
Thank you so much. Mr. Zwane there, Linda Zwane, who is the SAFA VP. Hey, we had SAFA on the show. Yeah, man. Let's take a break.
Sports Night Amplified with Ndile on Metro FM.
Abdul Ibrahim, SAFA head of referees.
Refereeing is unfortunately one topic that a lot of our coaches do not know anything about. They know something about it. I heard Coach Rolani mention that he knows the laws of the game. Ernst Middendorp was one. The coach from Amazulu was another. The coach from TS Galaxy was another, criticizing referees and the officiating.
Yes, Coach Rolani Mukwena.
I haven't spoken about the referees the entire season. This time I will speak because that is very bad. When we make mistakes, it's mistakes, but that's not a mistake.
Victor Tlungwane, the principal.
When we started the season, I said to you that this new rule is going to confuse many people. And I even said to you, Ma'a, that someone who has played football will easily interpret this than someone who has not played football in terms of the referees.
Basically what you're saying is the assistant referee should not have been overruled.
Exactly.
The principal has spoken. School is out.
6 to 7 p.m.
Let's go.
10 days. That's right.
10. We love ensuring that everyone gets the awards that they deserve.
10 days left to the penultimate Metro FM Music Awards.
Yeah, man, this is a big night.
Hurry and get your tickets now at CompuTicket and don't miss out on South Africa's biggest music awards in Mbombela.
Everyone is just on edge. We want it to begin.
Mpumalanga, Saturday, 27th April, Metro FM.
Get out of here, man. What more do you want?
Black to the Future.
It is UEFA Champions League Day today, and to speak UEFA Champions League with me is my good friend and a friend of the room, Omar Akatugba, UEFA accredited sports journalist, omarsports.com, for exclusive content delivered by an African in Europe. It's Omar. Omar. Oh, we seem to have lost Omar there. Timi ulatile Omar. Hey, man, we're going to try and get a hold of Omar there so we can speak the two big matches. And, of course, the one that he'll be watching, I'm sure, live at the stadium is the Bayern one as they take on Arsenal. There's Manchester City and Liverpool, a game that Ben came on last week and said it's going to be one of those that wins it. Whoever takes this one, Manchester City, Real Madrid, is the one that takes it. Do we have Omar now? Omar Kaktukba is the man that we're going to be speaking to. Omar Sports is where you can catch his interviews. You know, he's just one of those guys. Even when Xabi Alonso won that great match and he won the league, one of the first people to talk to him in media was Omar Kaktukba. So that's why we use Omar. That's why Omar is the guy that we choose to use whenever we go to Europe here on Sports Night Live with Andy. Omar, are you there? Hey, bud.
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here, Andile.
When I was introducing to you, I was telling everybody how you're the premier content driver in Africa who's out in Europe. There's no one who does it like you. Omar is sitting in the rooms with the players. Omar is getting a hug from Xabi Alonso after the match. What's going on, Omar? My friend, you've made it.
I'm just privileged. I've not made it yet, but I'm hoping that I'll become a millionaire like you soon. I'm just enjoying the privilege of being close to the action, the close proximity to the action.
Listen,
I'm
bud.
very humble, my brother.
Are you in Germany?
Yes.
Are you going to be going to the stadium?
No. Today I'm watching from my home, from my living room.
But what's the mood like in Germany? I mean, Bayern have lost the league. Bayer Leverkusen coming in and doing what was unthinkable just a couple of months ago, and they've got just this. They've got Harry Kane, who's never won, who came to Germany to win. This is his last shot this season.
It's a feeling of surprise in some part of the country, in the Bavaria area, where you have Bayern Munich, and of course in many other parts of the country, but in the North Rhine-Westphalen region, where you have Leverkusen and the likes, it's a feeling of ecstasy. You know, when a team, has won the league 11 times on a trot, you make it look like this league is the birthright of that team. And one team suddenly breaks that stranglehold, it brings a different story to the league itself. And of course, he gives the league a different coloration and makes people to pay more attention. And that is exactly what has happened here. And like I said, it's a great feeling. It's still a feeling of shock for some people, but it's a breath of fresh air. And even Germans, I've always said it, that the Bundesliga is very predictable. You know who will win. But now the story has changed. And that is exactly what a lot of persons have been clamoring for. That change has come, and that change has been brought upon us by Xabi Alonso's inspired Bayer Leverkusen. What a story.
What a story, an incredible one. And you were there for it, my friend. That's a memory you're going to cherish for a lifetime, particularly because of the Nigerian strike force that's there as well.
Correct.
You know, you had your friend, your brother being part of this history. But let's move on to today. Bayern can still resolve the season. They can still get something from this. Nobody expected them to score 2 goals and draw an Arsenal that is on form away from home.
Yes. That's actually their biggest chance at redemption, especially for Thomas Tuchel. It's been a disastrous stint for him at Bayern Munich. And any other thing short of the Champions League victory would just completely spell doom for him. It's already a bad story. They can't wait to get rid of him. He knows that. So he would want to leave on the...
I must be very honest about one thing. I think, and I don't know how you feel about this, I miss the away goals rule. And I thought that the second round was not going to have so many goals because the away goals rule has been taken away. But we still saw, 11 goals last night in the 2 games there. And we saw a bunch of goals in the first round as well. What do you make of the away goals rule being cancelled in the way that it is, where now 2-2 basically means 0-0 all over again?
I think that it adds an extra layer of excitement, tension, intrigue, and drama to this tournament. And that's what this tournament is all about. That removal of the away goals rule kind of makes teams to really earn their qualification. Many years ago, you can maybe win 1-0 after winning the first leg after losing the first leg by 2 goals to 1 away, and you win 1-0 at home, you qualify. Sometimes a lot of people felt that was not fair, for football and competition. I think that what we have right now is more interesting and gives us absolute competition, drama, intrigue, and suspense. And that is what football is all about. I enjoy it. And look at yesterday. PSG losing the first leg by 3 goals to 2. Just needed to win in Spain. But before now, if they are won by 1-0, they wouldn't have qualified. It's an interesting, phase for the UEFA Champions League. And like I said, it brings back that drama, intrigue, and competition.
Let me hear it.
It's exciting, in my opinion.
Let me hear it from you, buddy. Bayern Munich and Arsenal. Who are you going with? Are you going with the pundits that favor Bayern or Arsenal?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Omar, we can hear you. Omar, hello? Oh, you could hear that line, couldn't you? You could hear it drop, and it's almost time to take your calls anyway on 086-000-2160. WhatsApp on 060-552-7303.
At work, at play, online, and on the air. Check us out at Metro FM SA on all the socials. Metro FM, it's where you want to be.
Attention to all music lovers. The highly anticipated Metro FM Music Awards are finally here.
Y'all ready?
Purchase your tickets to gain access to the awards ceremony and the live concert happening on the 27th of April 2024 at Mbombela Stadium, Mpumalanga.
We about to have some fun in here.
You can now secure your tickets from 300 Rand at www.computicket.co.za.
Yeah, man, this is a big night.
With a star-studded lineup of DJs and live performances, don't miss your chance to be part of this unforgettable celebration of talent and music excellence.
Come on, Mbombela, come through. Let's do this.
Hashtag MMA24, Black to the Future. Metro FM, it's where you want to be.
We're able to get Omar back. Omar, you're still telling me Borussia,
Yes.
doing what they did yesterday, all the teams that did what they did and qualified. Now let's speak about today. You're looking at a German side that's looking to hoist the German flag up versus an Arsenal team that feel like they're due something. Who do you favor here?
To be honest, I favor Arsenal. I mean, like I said, Bayern haven't been vintage this season, and that psychological, that thing that there's this thing about not being where you normally would be. It affects your psyche, and we've seen that, reflect in the way Bayern have played this season. Haven't lost to all sort of teams, coming up against an Arsenal side who are, on the other hand, on a very good run of form. You get a feeling that Arsenal come into this game with so much confidence. And of course, yes, the first leg was a draw, but like we just talked about, the away goals rule has been abolished, which means game on, starting from afresh. And that gives Arsenal also a good chance. They play in Germany. Any draw goes into extra time. Any win is a winner takes all. So I think that Arsenal have got a chance, and they can take inspiration from the fact that Borussia Dortmund beat Bayern Munich at home by 2-0. Bayer Leverkusen went to Bayern, the Allianz Arena, and didn't lose. So I think that Arsenal are slight favourite in this one.
Very quickly, not much time to get into this one. Manchester City versus Real Madrid. This is the one that is said to be the big one. The one that's said to whoever wins here will go on to win the Champions League. I mean, I'm not sure if it's that cut and dry.
Completely agree.
I'm not sure that's cut and dry, but talk to me about this one. I mean, no one expected Man City to go to Real Madrid in that stadium with the roof closed and do what they did.
This is now the newest rivalry in European football. I think this is 6th time they are meeting since Pep Guardiola became Man City's coach, and they've shared the spoils. Real Madrid won the first one, City won the second one, which was when they won the Champions League last season, and now they face each other again. And it's been always close, and that's very understandable. These are two superpowers in European football. Of course, City not exactly, but by current, results, you cannot look beyond City, one of the most powerful teams in the world right now. By history and current form, Real Madrid, of course, Champions League juggernaut. So that says a lot about what we expect to see tonight. Again, it's winner takes all. First leg 3-3. Any win is enough for each of the team to qualify. I think that City will edge it. I think on the balance of play, City is slightly better than Real Madrid. But of course, Real Madrid is always in for a shout. They've got all the type of players that can fight for more than 90 minutes. So City have got their work cut out. But I just feel that Pep Guardiola's side will take this one.
Listen, I appreciate you. You're the premium man. You're Africa's man.
Pleasure,
what
bro.
you're doing out in
Always a
Europe
pleasure.
is incredible. One day we'll
Thank
tell your
you,
story of how you got to be in Europe and where you are now. But for now, thank you, my brother.
I appreciate you. Thank you, too. Thank you. Good night.
A very good night there to Omar Katugba. He, I remember when Omar called here after having listened to the show and to see, when we started speaking to Omar, where he is now. So proud of him. So proud of him. It's 18:59 on the mighty Metro FM. And you know what that means? Hey.
Hi. How are you?
See, that's much better. Like you came in with a big smile.
Hey?
I like that. You came in with a big smile.
Yeah, but I'm always smiling. I am always trying to
Let me tell you a story. I'm going to make it very quick because we need to get out of here before Tumelo bites our heads off.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you can help me here so that by the time I think these conversations are you polishing me for when you are ready for me, by the way. I think every day I listen a little bit.
Polishing you for me.
Yeah, because every day I get your opinion and your thoughts. As
So
to what
I'm
it is
making you a better
like.
man for me.
You're helping me groom myself for perfection, which doesn't exist, but it can be perfect in your person's eyes, right?
So you want to be mine.
I want to at least qualify. But listen, a while back, I meet a girl via the DMs and we speak. On that same day, she's like, I had plans this evening and they canceled. I said, let me take you to dinner. She says, okay, cool. We arrive, I pick her up and she looks very nice, dressed in a lovely black dress, and we drive and I stop at the restaurant and she says, where are we going? I say, we're going to that restaurant there. Which I think is a decent restaurant. It's beautiful scenery. It's a beautiful look over the city type thing about it. Then she says, no, you will not take me to a chain restaurant. I've never heard such.
Wow.
I question myself.
Okay.
I'm like, ooh, have I broken date number one rule here?
Okay.
I will not go to a chain restaurant.
Wow. Sure. Sure.
I kid you not.
These. You see, every time you mention these scenarios, I often ask myself the question of why are we dating? Why do we go out with people? Why do we spend time and use our time, limited time on earth that we have? But why do we use that 1 hour of our limited time on earth to be with someone? What is the reason behind it? Because I tell you one thing, you will not take me to a chain probably has got less to do than the fact that you're trying to get to know them and more to do with what she gets to post on Instagram.
Ooh.
No, because I think we need to call a spade sometimes. I think that we keep dilly-dallying around the etiquette and around intentionality. I don't like people wasting my time. I'm very, you know how I am. That's why you're into me. Because I don't like wasting time. My thing is, if I want to get to know you, it doesn't matter if we're sitting in a park and it's just the two of us. I want to get to know you, right? But if I want to Instagram and I want to tell my friends that Andile took me to this particular place, and so that they can show, so that she can take photographs of the food, so that she can take photographs of the event and the scenery and, then of course I'm going to want, but then that's got nothing to do with you. In fact, it's a selfish way of getting a free meal and some Instagram photos. So we really need to go back to basics about why we actually spending time with people. Is it because we genuinely want to get to know people, or is it because we genuinely want to add to the likes that we already have on our Instagram profiles?
Wow. Well, I can't wait to one day not waste your time. What do you have going on?
Without wasting any further time on this conversation, we are going to be joined by the South African Depression and Anxiety Group this evening. And I'll tell you why. We're going to be unpacking why the stress levels among South Africans have reached alarming levels, making it increasingly difficult for many to cope with life demands. In fact, it's been touted that we are ranked the highest in the world in mental health disorders.
I didn't know that.
We are ranked the highest in mental health disorders. We're going to speak to that in just a moment. And then 76% of South Africans run out of money before month end. 76%. Right? This is the data from Float Pays. So we're going to talk a little bit about how then do we start having more money, if it's possible, under the current economic climate within this particular discourse. And then after 8, and you can see it starts off with psychological issues. So we're going to talk about the psychology even of money. Then we're going to go into the savings, and then we're going to talk about what exactly will the economic outlook of the country look like under a potential coalition government. So let's say nobody gets a 50+1 outright majority come the 29th of May. What does South Africa's state of a coalition look like, but also what does South Africa's purse look like? And that's a conversation for After 8 on this Business Wednesday.
After 8, sure, Faith. Coming on between 7 and 9 o'clock. You can listen on Metro FM with Faith. We've got to get out of here. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. The next team of Talk takes over. From my entire team, the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Zizi Godwa, for speaking to us today. And of course, all those athletes nominated in the Sports Awards. Congratulations. You can catch them this evening on 10 o'clock as the Minister announces them. Pela pela. And so me.
Table Mountain.
Coming at your stereos.
88.9. Let's go. Metro FM. Your coolest urban radio station. It's where you want to be. Every cause worth defending is worthy of our deepest appreciation.
It was a weapon to also to fight hearts and minds.
Metro FM, commemorating 30